everybody, I'm Jammer here today. Nintendo just announced that they're going to having a Splatoon 2 focused Nintendo Direct coming this Thursday at 7 a.m. Pacific. So as always, I'm here dressed up in the suit of, what did we call it? Suit of JammerProHD to give you my predictions for the Direct.
Directory?
To you. So first off, just talking about what the post says. It says that it's going to be a quote-unquote refresher about Splatoon 2, talking about upcoming new features and stuff going to be in the game. Now, initially before E3 came out, when we were predicting and talking about what they might show off, we talked about the idea of them potentially showcasing another new modes in similar vein of like Salmon Run, just another brand new mode or something along the lines of that, or even something that can be rotated in within ranked match or turf war or something like that. And we didn't see anything like that. And kind of at this point, I don't know if that's actually going to be a thing. I don't think we're going to see another new mode, another mode like Salmon Run that's like outside of the arena or the online tower, if you want to call it. What I can see happening though is them going over what modes are going to be in ranked. I mean, because we know a good amount of them are coming back from Splatoon, the original Splatoon. They announced that over like the Tumblr or over Twitter. So I think it's very likely they're going to go over that today. And I think that's what this whole Direct is going to be. Like they said, it's going to be a refresher. Nintendo does this from a lot of their major releases. They release a Nintendo Direct right before the game come out to really just recap everything we already know and talk about some new things that we may not have known. So that's what I kind of really expect going into this. I don't expect a ton of new crazy reveals. I expect them to kind of briefly showcase the single player again. Perhaps talk about amiibo functionality, how that works again. I mean, we have a general idea, but maybe go a little bit more in depth. Talk about, you know, turf war and maybe the other online modes and showcase, like I was talking about previously, the ranked matches and stuff. Perhaps even explain even more upon Salmon Run and stuff. Even though we have a pretty good idea of it. I mean, we understand that there's like the percent values of how the difficulty scales. We're not sure what kind of reward you get though, so potentially they could talk about what you get as a reward and how you can cash in those bottle caps or whatever you get for new items, stuff like that. Maybe they might talk about clothing and stuff like that, how it's going to be changing this game and how the sea snails and re-rolling for abilities are different from the original. Because they did say it is different, but I'm not entirely sure how just yet. So that's something they could be talking about tomorrow. And just overall inkling customization. They showing off more hairstyles and all that fun stuff. I think we'll get a nice, good tour of Inkopolis Square, and we'll go around and look at all the new shops, the new people running the shops, and like showing off maybe a new weapon or two actually. That's something I could definitely predict. I'm like railing through these way too fast. We've already seen a lot of returning weapons, and I really hope they show off some brand new ones. Because so far, Splat Doolies, if I'm not mistaken, is the only brand new weapon for Splatoon 2 that we know of so far, anyways. We know returning, anyways. There's the Octobrush, the Slosher, the Gatling or Splatling, the Charger, the Splatter Shot. So we like a lot of the basic ones, and all returning, all their forms. Obviously not all their variants might not return, but potentially it'll be different in this game. But I think that I think that's what I could, first prediction. I think I want to see a new weapon, at least one new weapon. If they do two, that's more, that'd be freaking fantastic. But I think with the game coming out as soon as it is, and we were actually talking about this on the live stream just yesterday, talking about, you know, holy cow, Splatoon 2 is coming out like 2.5 weeks or so, like, how did this jump up on us so soon, you know? It's insane to think it's coming out as soon as it is, and we're going to be having it in our hands that quickly. So it kind of made sense that this Splatoon 2 Direct is going to happen, because they still have a good amount to talk about this game, because they have released a lot of information about this game, don't get me wrong, but at the same time, there's still a lot we don't know. Like, yeah, we've gotten the story trailer and stuff like that, but they didn't really go in depth in it on any way. I mean, I don't know if they actually need to, but that is another avenue they could talk about more about the story mode in the single player. Maybe how you can cash in whatever little eggs to upgrade your hero armor or your hero guns and stuff like that, and talk about that. They talked about it on the live stream of Treehouse, but that's something they could do in a more official format on a Nintendo Direct here maybe, and then have that showcase for fans who maybe missed the Treehouse or something like that. Some new features like housekeeping stuff, I can see them going over stuff like that. Like being able to change your equipment mid-lobby, that's something I've wanted since the original Splatoon. I thought it was so annoying if I'm like playing the Splatter Shot, for example, and I'm like, you know what, I'm not doing very good with the Splatter Shot. Maybe I should mix it up and play a Slosher or a Roller or something like that. But in order to do that, you have to exit out of the lobby entirely. Then go to your equipment screen, change all your equipment, including clothing as well, like even if like, oh, I want to change my boots real quick. you have to change all that outside of the lobby, and then you have to jump back in. And that's a feature that was in the E3 demo, and I'm assuming it's probably going to be in the real game as well. So I hope that's something they show off, and that it's going to be an official thing in the game. Because I mean, it could have been a thing just for the demo, for demo purposes, so you could switch weapons and not be stuck with everyone playing Splattershot. But it looks like it's probably going to be a thing in the game. And that's like, that's like Mario Kart 8 Deluxe solving that problem, maybe letting you change your card setup in a lobby. Like, that's fantastic, you know? That's something that should have been there since day one. Perhaps there were some issues with it there, or connectivity stuff. But I'm glad, and I hope that they're going to show it off as a fully fledged, implemented thing into the game, rather than just something that was in the E3 demo. Maybe they might even talk about the return of Splatfest. I can't remember when the first Splatfest was announced, or even when they talked about the fact that Splatfests are going to be a thing in Splatoon, the original. I think it was before the game release, because I believe Cats vs. Dog came out like a few weeks after the game actually launched. I could be entirely mistaken, I have my dates wrong. But I feel like it was really close to when the game actually launched, so they could actually even talk about the return of Splatfest and potentially even announce the first one, you know? I don't see that very likely. That seems like an update later down the road that they could talk about rather than put it in this direct. Because like I said, I think this is going to be focused on assuming maybe some players have never gotten that much exposure to Splatoon, and this Nintendo Direct will really recap all the information we already know about the game. And really get people on board, as well as, like I said, talk about new housekeeping and other tiny little features here and there talking about. I think the one that's going to be most curious to me, I really hope they go over clothing, stats, and abilities, because we already know there was an accidental leak. It's not a leak, but they showed off like a list of the abilities, or like they were scrolling in the background during one of the directs or something like that. And some people spotted out 2 new icons that were brand new, and I can't remember specifically what they were, but they theorized that they potentially could be certain new abilities, something like that, and that could be something they could talk about here, the different types of abilities that your equipment can have, and how that affects gameplay, and potentially what these new abilities are, and how they will change it up as well. I don't know, for some reason I have a hard time predict for Splatoon 2, because, I don't know, like, I feel like, even though we don't know that much in detail about the game, I feel like we already do know a lot about the game, and I'm not sure there's going to be many surprises left. Oh, I guess one thing I could maybe see them talking about is maybe a local multiplayer mode. Because I know, I mean, in the original Splatoon, it was kind of lackluster. It was fun, I guess, but it wasn't that great. I would really love to see that more expanded upon, especially with the fact that you have these 2 Joy-Cons at all time, being able to play split-screen co-op whenever you want. That needs to be taken advantage of in Splatoon. I really hope it does. So even if it's split-screen online, that'd be fantastic as well, because more often than not, when I was playing with a friend or they came over and played Splatoon with me, we'd mess around in local multiplayer, but after a while it's like, okay, this just kind of sucks, like, this isn't that great. We'd always end up just going online, and then we'd just, like, rotate the controller every other match or something like that. Just because it was more fun, because, I mean, going just one-on-one in a little arena, like, obviously one player's gonna have the superior advantage over another, dependent on skill, of course, and you're just shooting for balloons. I mean, I don't know. It felt like a mode that was kind of shoehorned into the original Splatoon just to show that had some sort of local multiplayer experience. And even when the new stages got revealed as DLC and stuff like that, and they updated later on the road, they were never even incorporated into the local multiplayer stuff, which was kind of a bummer. Like, all the new stages, new fun stuff were never incorporated into local multiplayer, so you couldn't go and practice on them and check out the area and, like, map it out if you want to call it, or map it out and look around for, like, little places to hide and stuff like that. And that would, I don't know, it just felt like a mode that was kind of pushed aside, and in its defense, it wasn't nearly any sort of focus of Splatoon, and that's fine. But I hope that changes for Splatoon 2 anyways. Like, I would love to be able to do local co-op, have 2 people per Switch playing a Salmon Run mode. Like, so there's only 2 Switches total, but then we have our 4-player team playing split screen on the same, each playing on their own Switches, you know. I think that'd be really fun, and that's something they should totally incorporate, because, like I said, those Joy-Cons are so perfect for being able to just drop in, drop out, local co-op, whenever you want type deal. I guess it didn't happen in, what's it called, in the original Splatoon, because I believe they did, like, 1 player on the gamepad, 1 player on the TV, and you can't really do that for online, because you kind of needed the gamepad to traverse the map. That, like, locked an entire feature. So that's kind of why local multiplayer didn't exist online, and that's what I theorize anyways. And because now they have the new map feature, how it works, where there's no more second screen, you just pop up the, whatever button, I can't remember, you hold it, and then you can, like, motion control to select the character you want to jump to and stuff like that. That's something that can easily be done with both characters now. There isn't a limiting factor to the controllers to who can play online this time around. Okay, so it's not like you would need 2 gamepads. Like, back in the original Splatoon, if you want to play online, you would need technically two gamepads to connect to the split screen TV, then also have both your maps on the gamepads, and that'd be ridiculous. I mean, who owns 2 gamepads? Nobody. Nobody does. I don't even know. You can buy standalone, maybe, I think, but even so, it's ridiculous. You don't need a second gamepad. So, fortunately, because the control schemes with Splatoon, I don't know if I've seen it yet, but I think you can do Joy-Con sideways controls. I don't see why not. I mean, I would maybe not, because I think one of the triggers is jump and one of them's a grenade. There may be a way to kind of like fix that. I don't know. I mean, even if it is like you have to play with other control schemes, like one person with a pro, other person with a Joy-Con grip, or just 2 pros or 2 Joy-Con grips, something like that. I mean, that's better than nothing. I just barely realizing that they had that second button, or they take advantage of the triggers and the bumpers for, you know, the specials, the sub weapons, and firing and jumping into ink and stuff like that. So because of that, I don't like. There could be some workaround they could figure out to use the sideways Joy-Con. Maybe like if you hold a certain button and then click the trigger, you'll activate something else rather than jumping into ink. I don't know. There's maybe a workaround. If not, I at least hope they can incorporate it with 2 separate controllers, because I think that'd be a lot of fun, and that'd be fun to play with Nick and do some gameplays for you. I don't really know what else to talk about. I mean, like, I don't think there's going to be a new mode. We already know that the Amiibo are coming, and we kind of know their features. I'm sure they'll talk about it a little bit. I think the biggest question marks really are, how's the online infrastructure going to work? I know they briefly touched on it in an update, saying that, like, there's a new sort of mode. Oh gosh, what's it called? Like, basically last time squad battles, where you could like get a group of 4 or whatever, or a group of whatever, and get friends together in a lobby, and then you can play matches together. There's this new one called, I don't remember the specific name, Raid something. It sounds like Raid Battles. That's not right. That's Pokemon Go. But basically what can happen, you get a team of 4 together, and then you play a bunch of matches together. I think it was saying like within an hour or even 2 hours or something like that of gameplay, and you kind of try to win as many matches as you can in a row, or as many as you can in that time frame anyways, and you can earn points, and then you try to get the highest score essentially. And that's something they kind of briefly just throw out there on the Twitter or on the Tumblr, I think, or something like that. So that's something they could definitely talk about here and explain that a little more, because we've never seen that in a visual format yet, in a video or any sort of trailer. So that's something they could show off in this Direct for sure. And I hope there's going to be other things like that. I really hope they expand upon ranked matches and stuff like that, and the ranking system, and talk about that. I think Splatoon did a great job with their ranking and their A tiers, S tiers, you know, and stuff like that. And I think Smash Brothers, anyways, can take a real page from that, you know, because I feel like for their online infrastructure, I mean, if they ever revamp it for Switch, and I know I'm going on a tangent, but I'd love to see something like that, so it kind of pairs you better with players that are more of your skill, because sometimes it can be either you're getting trashed on by someone way higher than you, or you're trashing on someone else because they're way too, they're inexperienced, and it's not fair in that way. And I think Splatoon did a great job in the original, kind of matching with players that are similar to your skill. And I hope they do something similar with Splatoon. I hope they do something similar with Splatoon 2, and I don't see why they wouldn't. If I had any pipe dream, I don't know. I just hope they talk. I'd love to see one new ranked match. I think that's what I want to see. Talk about some new stages. I could see that as well. Because so far we only know of a handful. I can't remember specifically the number. I think there's 5 so far, and the original Splatoon came out with only 4, I believe, or maybe 5 or something like that. So but I think the Splatoon 2 needs to come out with just a little bit more to kind of show that, look, it's a sequel, it's better, has more content than the original first launched anyways, hopefully anyways. And I mean, obviously, oh yeah, and they'll probably actually announce, I can't believe I almost forgot this, they'll probably announce a Splatoon model of DLC, kind of like what they're doing with ARMS now, where they're going to roll out continuous content over the months, over maybe even a year or so, of new weapons, new maps, potentially even a new mode or something like that. Because I think they know it worked with Splatoon. I mean, and it's evident that it worked because now they're going to be incorporating into ARMS, another new IP, to really boost that and get it off the floor, or off the ground. And so far what we've seen what we can expect from Splatoon at this point is that rolling out of content, just because that's what they did with the first game, and now it's kind of a standard. So it's almost like if they didn't do it for Splatoon 2, I think a lot of fans would actually be disappointed, because that's kind of what we've grown to expect with Splatoon. So I think that's something they're going to talk about here, and potentially even announce what the first pack, or the first thing to be released after the game's launch. Kind of like what they did with ARMS, saying, okay, this is coming out, spectator mode's coming out, 3 weeks out, and then next month's going to be Max Brass. They do something similar here in the Direct, saying, okay, potentially even the same thing, spectator mode maybe not being incorporated right away, and they say, okay, that's going to come out, in 2 weeks from now, or 3 weeks, and then after that we'll start throwing in new modes and weapons and But anyways, I've been rambling for a long time. What do you guys think they're going to announce at the Splatoon 2 Nintendo Direct coming out this Thursday? Definitely let me know in the comments, what are you hoping they're going to talk about here? I covered a good basis of what they're going to go on, but I think really, I'm keeping my expectations kind of low, because I really think it's just going to be an overview trailer of just discussing a lot of the stuff we've already seen. There'll probably be, like I've previously said a few times now, there's going to be some new features they're going to talk about, some housekeeping if you want, and just some stuff to make the overall user experience better, like, you know, changing your equipment in a lobby, explaining how the new equipment works, and just overall stuff like that. Potentially even like cosmetic equipment or whatever. And, you know, I think that's really what it's going to be about. And I think maybe at the end they'll throw in like one new trailer for a brand new mode to really throw everything off and just get us hyped for the game to come out in 2.5 weeks. So yeah, definitely let me know all that in the comments. Give this video a big, awesome like. And if you haven't already, subscribe for tons more on Splatoon 2 Nintendo Switch content. Right now, we're finishing up our character guide for ARMS. And obviously, when Splatoon comes out, we'll do a ton of live streams playing with you guys in like Turf War and other ranked matches. It'll be a lot of fun. Also, if you haven't, definitely go follow me maybe on Facebook and Twitter. I always post when I'm going to live stream over there. You also get updates on the videos I do here. And you'll just, you know, hear from me more often. So definitely go follow me over there. Anyways, guys, thank you guys so much for watching again. And I'll catch you in the next one. See ya.